right, Rangers, because we've got a lineup of Rangers news that's going to hit harder than Mike Tyson taking a tumble to Jake Paul. You heard me right. If I and Mike can have an off night, anything can happen, and that's exactly the energy swirling around Rangers these days, from transfer moves and big money rumors to some legendary names floating near Rangers again. This week's headlines are nothing short of jaw-dropping. We'll be covering the latest whispers about January loan signings, the surprise warning that Hearts could be making a play for the title, and Chris Sutton's cheeky claim that Rangers can't afford rising star. We'll also talk about John Sutar making us proud for Scotland, Robin Propper's injury woes, and last but not least, Sir Alex Ferguson himself being tipped for an advisory role right here at Rangers. So stay tuned, because these updates are going to land like a proper 1-2 punch. Let's dive into each headline and see just how much impact they could have on our club's future. So here we are facing January and the prospect of new faces arriving at Rangers, likely in the form of loan signings, as David Edgar's hinted. Seems the club's gearing up for some reinforcements, and it's no wonder with a rather eye-watering loss of £17,200,000 for the last financial year. That sort of figure does make you wonder if we're shopping in the bargain aisle this window, eh? Now, from the sound of it, a lone defender and a versatile attacker are on the wish list. A fresh set of legs at the back wouldn't go amiss, especially with the injuries and suspensions knocking us about this season. You'd want someone who's not just there to warm the bench, but to step up when it counts. Big league matches, cup runs, the whole lot. As for an attacker, well, there's no denying we could use a bit of spark up front. A player who's quick, clever, and can actually find the back of the net instead of just faffing about. It's not enough to stick any old name on the squad list. These lads need to make an immediate impact. Otherwise, it's just a waste of everyone's time and patience. Here's one for you to chew on, though. Given our current finances, should Rangers even be dipping into the market at all? Or is it time to give more of the lads from the academy a chance? So here we are with Chris Sutton throwing his 2 pence in, saying that Lennon Miller, Motherwell's young gem with a £5 million price tag, is firmly out of reach for Rangers, but not so for Celtic. Now, £5 million is a hefty amount, especially for an 18-year-old who's still a bit of a rough diamond, but Sutton's convinced that Celtic could cough it up without batting an eyelid, whereas Rangers, with their current cash flow challenges, might struggle. He's even dredging up the Lewis Ferguson saga. You know, that one we all wish we'd forgotten. The lad was practically in our lap for a song, but we missed the chance, and now he's way out of reach, playing in Italy. It's the classic what could have been that stings, especially given the budgetary pinch Rangers are feeling after that £17 million loss and the lack of Champions League cash. Let's be honest, this idea that we're going to drop £5 million on a prospect like Miller is a bit of a dream right now, and with Celtic ready to swoop if they fancy him, it's one of those times where we might have to look the other way or scout out some cost-effective players with potential. So here's the question for you. Should Rangers push the boat out to bring in a top Scottish prospect like Miller, even if it means risking our finances, or is it smarter to let him go and focus on strengthening our squad elsewhere? So Chris Boyd's got us on high alert, reckoning that Hearts might soon be having a proper go at the title if Tony Bloom brings his wallet and his football brains to Tynecastle. Now, Bloom isn't just any investor, he's the bloke who's helped Brighton rise from the depths of the English lower leagues to rubbing shoulders with the big guns in the Premier League. Just look at their recent swoop for Matt O'Reilly, shelling out £30 million. That's some serious clout. Bloom's not just splashing cash either. He's got this whole analytics-driven approach down to an art. Over in Belgium, his work with Union Saint-Gilloise has already stirred things up, with them nipping at the heels of big lads like Anderlecht and Club Brugge, even nicking a Belgian Cup. Boyd reckons that with the right recruitment policy, something similar could happen at Hearts, potentially giving our Glasgow duo a real run for their money. But here's the mad bit. Hearts are currently lingering near the bottom of the table. New boss Neil Critchley's got a mountain to climb before even dreaming of titles, yet Boyd sees the long game. He's talking about a future where Hearts could actually break the Glasgow stranglehold that's held since the 80s. So here's a spicy one for you. If Hearts do get this big money backing and some proper management, do you think they could actually knock Rangers or the Hoops off the top? Or is this just a wild pipe dream? John Sutar's on fire, isn't he? The lad put in an absolute shift for Scotland against Croatia, helping them snatch a 1-0 win in the UEFA Nations League. He's not just holding his own out there, he's become a proper rock at the back for Rangers too. Despite that rough start he had, coming in from Hearts with one injury after another, he's now showing exactly why we signed him. And when Barry Ferguson's saying Sutar should take the captain's armband off James Tavernier, if Philippe Clement ever makes that call, you know the man's doing something right. Against Croatia, he was immense. Every big play, every crucial block, he was there. The Scottish media's absolutely singing his praises, slapping on ratings of 8 out of 10 and calling him the reason Croatia couldn't turn their dominance into a goal. Strong, sharp, reading the game brilliantly, all the things you'd want in a top defender. Stat-wise, he's been an absolute wall. 3 clearances, 2 big blocks, and winning every single one of his duels. Not too shabby, eh? The real test now will be whether Sutar can carry this form back to Rangers after the international break. With our backline in need of consistency, his steady presence could be a game changer. So here's a question to stir the pot. If Sutar keeps this up, should Clement be bold and make him captain over Tavernier? Or is that crossing a line that shouldn't be touched? Robin Propper's time at Rangers hasn't exactly been smooth sailing, has it? The lad's already been subbed off 5 times in just 12 games, which is a bit worrying, especially for a centre-back who should be anchoring the defence, not shuffling off halfway through. Dr. Rajpal Braz had a look and is as puzzled as the rest of us. He can't say for sure if it's a lingering fitness issue or if the problem's simply that Propper's not quite at the level needed. Now, Propper's had a tough go since joining, and Philippe Clement has started leaving him on the bench. Could be the pace and physicality here are catching him out, or maybe it's adapting to a different style of play altogether. Either way, if he can't start delivering consistent performances, Clement might have to look elsewhere for a reliable centre-back option. And here's the question that'll get the debate going. Should Rangers stick with Propper in hopes he'll settle in, or is it time to cut losses and find someone who can truly hold the line? Imagine it. Sir Alex Ferguson, the man himself, stepping into an advisory role at Rangers. That's what Dan Bardell reckons could be on the cards now that Fergie's bought a flat in the West End of Glasgow to be closer to family and apparently his other team. He's been spotted around, and with things up in the air at Rangers right now, it could be a perfect storm for him to offer some wisdom. You'd think the club would welcome someone with his knowledge, especially in a time when we're trying to stabilize on the pitch and sort the boardroom chaos. With Gilligan looking to set things right after the exits of John Bennett and James Bisgrove, having a legend like Fergie in the mix might just be the kickstart Rangers need. He's got experience, trophies, and, let's be honest, a bit of an edge that might give this squad and boardroom a much-needed shake. But here's a controversial thought for you. If Sir Alex does get involved with Rangers, do you think it could finally tip the balance back in our favour? Or is he simply too far removed from the modern game to make a real difference? Comment below what you think about the news. Don't forget to leave a like on the video to help me out. I post videos every day talking about our Rangers, so if you're not subscribed, you're missing out on the latest news. See you soon.